UFC Fight Night, Adesanya versus Imavov. And the last time Imavov lost was Sean Strickland, funny enough. And obviously, I'd say the same thing for Israel, but he lost the DDP against the championship. Either way, they both lost to Strickland. This is a very interesting matchup because Imavov is won his last four, I believe, since Strickland. One of those is a controversial win over Jared Cannonier. But Israel Adesanya is going to be returning. This is his first fight not for a championship in quite some time. We do know that he's been king of the middleweights till Pereira showed up. And then he slayed that dragon. And Strickland showed up and DDP. And it's been a whirlwind. But I totally understand because when you go from Pereira having this crazy rivalry with somebody from kickboxing, now in MMA, this complete, I guess, like high, if you will, because you're at a height of your career against your biggest opponent and all of these other things. And then you go into wanting to think that DDP is your next opponent, and it builds and it builds and it builds. And it's Sean Strickland. And it's just something that's completely different. You have to understand it from that point of view because, look, I'm a major Sean Strickland fan. But to have that mindset going in, thinking from Pereira to DDP, the height, the emotion, all of that, the focus, the mindset, to then you're fighting Sean Strickland. This is a completely different thought, idea, feeling, whatever the case is, mindset. Israel Adesanya has gone on a couple of fight slides here. He's lost to DDP, Strickland, Jan, and Alex in his career for MMA. I'm not saying he's washed. He's not. He is very much still top at 185. But this is going to prove a lot because Imavov, he's an up-and-coming fighter. He's very fast. That's what Izzy said. That's his best trait. But it's not something that he's not seen prior. He doesn't bring something new. He doesn't break the mold. He's not something Israel hasn't seen before. He's seen it all. He's been the top of the 185 division for a very long time. We're going to see how he can deal with this hungry Imavov because right now, this is his opportunity to be able to make a name for himself. Because last time he lost to Strickland, he was actually doing well in the first round and kind of gassed out in the second. Strickland just took over. The amount of kicks that he was just enduring from Imavov was insane. And then Strickland just being able to endure all that and get through and push and then get the finish and obviously get the win, bounced him back into that contention after his loss from Cannonier, which was controversial. And then Cannonier lost to Izzy. So you see kind of how it all works out. Imavov could very much get a chance here at a title if he gets a win from Izzy, depending on how he does it. Now, this is literally a week before the 185 championship is contested next week. I'm not saying anyone's going to get a leapfrog over Khamzat Chimaev because I think everyone is kind of expecting. They all expected it to be this weekend or next weekend instead of Strickland. I understand why they didn't because there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to Khamzat. Can you even trust that he's going to be there? Is he going to retire? Is he going to miss weight? You never really know. If the UFC's worried about Tsaroukian being pulled out a couple days before his title fight with Islam last week or 2 weeks ago, they're going to have a similar problem with Chimaev. So you might as well get the Strickland DDP matchup, finish that because in my opinion, Strickland didn't lose the first fight. I watched it back. Strickland won 3-2. Just my opinion. But the winner of this could very much face who's next in line after Khamzat versus the winner. I mean, everyone at the top of the 185 division are kind of contenders right now because they've all either fought, lost, and beat each other. It's a big triangle right now. You know, MMA math never really works out. Co-main event, Shara Bullet versus MVP. Are we not excited for that? I mean, the main event is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Izzy's return. First fight not for a title in a very long time. He is now the challenger. But this co-main event, did we all think that MVP was going to go up to 185? I don't think anyone had that in the cards, even though it was talked about. It was just talked about. No one really expected MVP to go up 15 pounds and go face him. Now, Shara Bullet's coming off the Armin Petrosian double spinning back fist KO That one was fucking picture perfect, beautiful. That's the first one in history, I believe. And now he's going against MVP. MVP just lost to Ian Gary in his last bout. Some would say it was close, and some would say Ian Gary whooped his ass. Personally, I think he gave Ian Gary a lot of problems on the feet, which you did see the growth from Ian Gary on the ground because of that. And then with MVP's stand-up battle with Shara Bullet, this is going to be insane. Who's going to get what on who? Who's going to be able to do what creative move? I mean, the in and out movement by MVP, the creativeness from Shara Bullet. We don't know what's going to happen in this. And I think that's what's most exciting. When you do not know what's going to happen, the unknown is why I love this sport. And MVP brings that excitement tenfold. Obviously, Shara Bullet does, just from the way he fights. This is a beautiful co-main event. And even if MVP loses, in my opinion, it doesn't do him anything. It doesn't do anything bad for his career going back down to 170 and making a push at the title like he wants. I mean, this is more or less just a side mission like Izzy at 205 with Jan. This is just for fun and thank you, because the fans love it. Now, Sergei Pavlovich versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik. This is going to be interesting at heavyweight, not 185. I was going to say 185. But at heavyweight, things are kind of being weird right now because we don't know whether we're going to get a Tom versus John. Now, Dana White's talking about how it's a guaranteed matchup, that they're going to happen in 2025. We all know how guarantees work in MMA. I mean, it's almost never. But whether he can actually get it done, I fucking hope and pray that they do. Because who does not want to see John versus Tom? And who does not want to finally see the damn heavyweight division move on? We need an undisputed. We need a champion, not a interim who's waiting for the champion to then defend his championship, and then he defends it, and then now we're in this limbo. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna lie, I was in the camp that he did need to defend it against Stipe. That needed to happen for history. But let's get this done now. That was months ago in November. Let's find out where the next movement is before John Jones does something crazy and he's like, I'm out. I'm not even gonna fight him. We need him to face Tom. Now, I don't blame John if he's not gonna end up doing it, because you better back up the Brinks truck for the GOAT. But don't leave us hanging, John. Personally, I think you're taking the route of, you better make everyone think I'm a duck him, and then I'm going to go out there, sign the contract, and whip his ass. I still think you're the guy. I still think you're number one pound for pound. You're number one champ. Shit, don't matter. 205, heavyweight, don't matter. He's the champ. This heavyweight bout matters because Sergei Pavlovich was like the boogeyman before Tom Aspinall knocked him out. And then now he's on a 2-fight skid. Now against Rozenstruik, I don't know how he's going to do. And the heavyweight division is so crazy. This has a lot of implications, especially if the division is going to move forward. Now, the rest of the fights on this card, I'm not going to go into detail like the top 3 here on the main card. But the rest, there are very, very good fights. Nothing crazy, no crazy implications. I mean, Said Nurmagomedov versus Vinicius Oliveira, and Fares Ziam versus Mike Davis, just to finish out the main card. But this is a very good top 3. I'm definitely going to be tuning in for the whole card, and specifically for that top 3. But there's a lot of implications from this week for next weekend, because of the Hamzat's going to face the title challenger or the title winner. And then whoever wins this main event is probably going to be facing the winner of Hamzat versus the winner of next weekend. So a lot on the line. I think we got 9 weeks straight of a UFC card. So thank you, Lord. Love and appreciate the fights. Hope y'all are enjoying. Shit, go watch the GFL draft video I dropped. Go watch any of the last videos I dropped. Love and appreciate the support we've been getting. And I'll talk to y'all later.